Hey, fellow youth workers, fellow youth leaders, fellow adults who love kids. It's Pastor Grover, and I want to give you a bit of information on this Nexus experience. I know there's many questions. I received a lot of input and feedback and questions regarding what this is all about and why Nexus. I guess over the last 3 years, there's been a really holy discontent in my own spirit in regards to the future of youth ministry, particularly in the Canadian landscape, and feel that as a community, a cohort of youth workers and youth pastors, we need to come together and start figuring this out. And I'm not talking about figuring out forms and methods and coming together to plan big events, but to talk about the motivation of youth ministry, why we do it, to look at the questions of intentionality, to look at the questions of the heart, to look at the questions of soul care, to look at the questions of sustainability, to talk about the family, to talk about the future of youth ministry. And there'd be many who would say that in the next 10 years, or 10 years out, there's a very good possibility that us as youth workers and youth pastors, we're not going to be around. And that's a scary thought unless we figure out what we're doing. And so that's really what Nexus experience is. It's an opportunity to come together around the table, to care for each other, to share with each other, but to look at some of these really hard questions that, you know what, I gotta be honest, as a landscape of Canadian youth workers around in Canada, we're not talking about the things that we need to be talking about. We're not having discussions. We're the last, I would say 4 months, I've traveled all the way across Canada and spent a lot of time with other youth ministries and youth pastors, and there's a lot of common threads in terms of frustrations and disillusionment in youth ministry. A lot of youth pastors who are feeling that they're really just more program directors than they are pastors. A real lack of understanding in terms of the leadership, in terms of what your role is and what your role isn't. The pressure to please, the pressure to perform, the motivation of why you're actually doing what you're doing. And that's what Nexus experience is going to be all about. And so I want to encourage you to at least consider. The application form is now there. I would encourage you to fill it out and send it in. The itinerary or agenda for the year will be out very shortly. And this is primarily for youth workers and youth pastors in the Calgary area. You will get the chance to meet with me, and I'm not an expert by any sense of imagination, but I have a real passion and calling to be a pastor to pastors. I want to be able to help you kind of go through a coaching process of understanding who you are, where you're at, where your strengths lie, and that type of a thing. So that's really what Nexus is all about, and I would encourage you to be a part of it. It's going to start in July, the summer of 2011, which is just a few months away, and we're looking at about 20 people being a part of this to start. And so if you're one of them, awesome. Looking forward to having you on the team and being a part of this. More than anything, I think it'll give us an opportunity to talk things through, but to develop a team of youth pastors and youth workers that really get it as we move into the future. As I said, there are some questions we have got to ask and discuss and do our homework on. And as long as we're just kind of going through the motions, and many of you may be in these youth pastor networks, and as I said before, they're great, and I think they're awesome. But a lot of times, ultimately, the purpose of those things, we may say it's to share and to care for each other, but often it turns into an opportunity to plug an event or get ready for the next big event that's happening. So anyway, I just wanted to throw this on here real quick so you get a better understanding of why we're doing this, and I hope you will consider being a part of Nexus. So blessings on you, and if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call, and I look forward to seeing those applications start coming in. So blessings on you, and peace out. Talk to you soon. Bye.